if I'm profitable come New York session, I'm up maybe 2, 3, 4%, then I can risk 3, 4% in New York on a trade.
Okay.
And then I can just, compound that and, I have that more leeway of loss that I have.
Hey trader, welcome back to another top tier interview. Brittany Hughes here, and I am with a very, very special guest today in the studio. I'm really excited about this conversation that we're about to have because Josh Barnes is here, and this is the very first time that we've invited a trader out and have hosted a trader for the top tier experience. So we're going to get into the details. Josh is a very successful multiple six-figure trader. He has received 6 figures in payouts through top tier, and I'm just really excited to have him here. So Josh Barnes, welcome to Top Tier Interviews.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
How
Thanks
are
for
you?
having me.
Of course, of course. So you flew in when? Remind me.
Flew in Wednesday. Got here, around like noon, I think it was.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you're the correct me if well, you can't correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but you are the first trader that we have flown out to host and have you as a part of the top tier experience. How's it been so far?
It's great. Yeah, I'm very grateful to be here and glad to be the first one.
Yeah.
So honored.
Picked up in a sprinter. What did we do yesterday? Kind of walk us through what your experience has been so far.
Yeah, so that was awesome. Picked up in a sprinter at the airport, and we got some lunch, real nice spot on the water, and then went to the hotel, dropped my bags off, and then we went to one of the offices. Got there, met some people there, and then that was pretty much for the day. Had the night to trade, so did some trading that night. Got comfortable at the hotel, and then the next morning woke up, did a workout, morning routine, and then got picked up a Corvette.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
Had that and drove that around.
We did a mini interview.
We did a mini interview. That was a lot of fun. I'm excited to see the content from that and see that. And then we also picked up a Lamborghini Huracan and had that. So
how was that? Was that your first time driving a Lamborghini?
No, not first time.
Okay.
It's definitely one of my favorite cars. So I loved it. It's a blast to drive. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've actually never driven it on a road. I've done a track a couple times.
Okay.
In a Huracan. So
okay.
So it was cool driving it on an actual road. So, but other than that, or after that, we what did we do after that? Came back to the office here, saw Q and hung out with him. Saw y'all's interview you did, and then
was that your first time meeting Q?
No, I met him
at the FX Summit.
FX Summit and the hangout, before the summit and stuff like that.
Cool.
At the office, and then so after that, then we went and played some putt
some mini
golf there last night, and then
how'd you do? You weren't on my
team. I did pretty
team.
good.
Okay.
Our section, I got like second place, I think it was.
Okay.
But overall, I was down, like the whole team. I was like 6th or something.
Okay, I think
y'all were killing it on the all side.
I was last on my team.
Were you?
And I was like 9th overall.
Y'all were like really good. Yeah, that was crazy. So
yeah,
it was fun.
Nice. Well,
cool
I'm excited to have you here. We have dinner tonight. I'm excited to again dive into this interview with you because my first exposure to you was at the FX Summit in 2023, just this past year, when you had the opportunity to speak on a panel on stage, which is really, really cool. What was the panel specifically? It was a group of traders who have received payouts through prop firms. Is that correct?
Right. I think the panel was specifically for funded traders. I think it was. So it was all successful funded traders.
And let us know your highest payout that you've received through top tier.
Yeah. Highest payout in a month was 105,000. The highest.
That's crazy.
Yeah. In a month.
How did that feel?
Oh, it was amazing. It was crazy. Yeah. Very rewarding. It was a very pivotal moment of my life around that time.
Sure.
And so we'll kind of, I'm sure, dive into it, kind of my story. But that month I did over 300,000 in a month because I was funded with other companies as well. So
That's crazy. Were
It's
you
crazy.
trading the whole month, or did you make a certain amount? And obviously, you have to wait until you get your payout. So,
Yeah.
what was that process like?
Yeah, I was trading majority of the month.
Okay.
Yeah. So I took a few days off here and there, but yeah, I was very active that month.
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
getting funded is a feat in and of itself. Receiving your first payout is another feat within itself, but receiving multiple six figures in a single month, like that's insane. So I really want to dive into your story because I know, I mean, it didn't happen overnight, obviously.
Yeah.
So when were you first exposed to trading?
So I was exposed to trading, initially stock trading, just like buying, selling, is what I got, into like 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago.
Okay.
And so, very, I was like, had a job. I was entrepreneur back then, or I still am entrepreneur. I was like doing a lot of different business stuff, and I was buying stocks and then holding, and then, but then I got more introduced to, higher frequency trading and Forex trading and things like that. So just learned over the time of, the avenue of trading. So
okay. You said you kind of have always been an entrepreneur. What were you doing? Like before you were exposed to trading?
So I honestly can't remember exactly the first business, but like I car detailing business, did that for some time. I had a snow cone machine that I bought as well. That was pretty fun because I live on the beach, so I would like take it to the beach and just sell snow cones. I actually hired my brother to like sell the snow cones and stuff
there
like
you
that.
Go.
That was like back when I was like just got out of high school, and working full time as well and going to school. So I was very, very busy back then. Still am, but I was on the grind back then. So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. And you said that was about when you were exposed to trading about 6 or 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then how did you transition from? Do you trade Forex now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did you transition from trading just stocks into shifting into Forex?
Yeah. Honestly, can't remember. I got exposed to Forex trading over, I believe it was Instagram.
Okay.
And
as one
just
does.
majority of people, I'm sure that's probably where it happens. Yeah. So I honestly can't remember the guy who it was that, I saw, but, probably as most people do, I got, signals, from different people in the beginning and just like, got exposed that way and just seeing how it works. And then I got into, developing a strategy and how it all works. And so yeah.
Did it take you a while to find your edge, or were you kind of testing strategies, like strategy hopping, if you will, before you actually found something that stuck?
Yeah, that's I would say like my strength and my weakness. I'm definitely like a wanderer, if you will, where I'm definitely creative and want to try new things, experience new things, and stuff like that. So, which is kind of at heart of an entrepreneur, So I am always developing and adding to strategy and trying new things. So when it comes to actually executing trades, that's kind of when I kind of, I like to have someone that's executing for me, that's following the strategy, if you will. So,
okay.
But at the time that I started trading Forex,
what year was this, like specifically, if you remember?
This was when I was, let's see, 23, I think it was.
Okay.
No, it was probably 20, 24, maybe 25. I owned a dry cleaning business.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. I bought it. I actually was living in New York City, moved back home to Pensacola, Florida, purchased a dry cleaning business and owned that for like a year, and turned around and sold it for double what I bought it for.
Oh wow.
And then I love the experience of buying something and then selling it. And so that's kind of right. So it was a really cool experience. I learned a lot from that, business and that whole process. So
I'm sure. How long did it take you to become a profitable trader?
Yeah. So, once I sold that business, I went straight into trading, and I was trading full time for like a year, I would say. And, I was on a winning streak, and back then I was swing trading.
Okay.
And
Was there a specific reason why?
yeah, I think beginner's luck, and I just like, you know, somewhat of beginner's luck. You know, I feel like every trader experiences that where they're,
Sure.
you know, they're new, they're fresh, so their psychology is fresh, and then once you
Mm.
have a string of losses, then that's when
You get
you
jaded.
know, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yep. So, so that eventually hit me, and then it took some time to, you know, figure out the psychology piece,
Mm.
which has been my focus for the past couple years, and I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading, um, and so yeah, a lot of experience with that. Because after that, I was doing some different businesses as well as I was trading,
Okay.
and got into a lot of debt, so I owed banks a lot of money, a couple investors that I was actually trading for, and
Okay.
so yeah, I owed like over 100,000, and I didn't have a job, didn't have anything, no money in the account,
And was
and
it just because why you were just taking loans out from the bank
yeah,
to
so different loans to fund a couple different
Okay,
businesses, and
sure.
then investors' money I lost and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Back against the wall
yeah, oh yeah,
in a
very much so.
situation where you were in debt, no job. Would you
Yeah,
say you were profitable at this point with your trading?
yeah.
Like in a
So
profitable state?
yeah, I was definitely was profitable, but then whenever that hits, you know, whenever you're in that bad of a state and you feel like you're, you know, losing and feel like you're a loser, like you can't win at anything, you know,
Mhm.
um, you can't trade in that experience, you know.
How
You
did that affect your trading?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like I wasn't profitable back then. So I had to like really pull myself out and figure out, you know, how to pull myself out. And really, prop firms was the answer for, you know, for my success of pulling myself out of there,
Okay.
along with, you know, psychology and figuring that piece out. So,
Yeah, you
yeah.
mentioned before we started recording, I asked you if you traded this morning, and I remembered that you're only an Asian
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Asia session trader.
Mainly trade Asia. Very
Okay,
rarely I trade New York.
which is really
So,
interesting. I hardly ever hear that
yeah.
from people. I
Yeah.
feel like it's either London or New York.
Yeah.
I feel like for most people in the U.S., it's probably New York because
Hmm.
I mean, I cannot and will not stay awake in the wee hours of the night or like
Yeah.
very early hours of the morning just because I'm not sharp at that time.
Yeah.
And I want to be on point whenever I'm showing up to the charts.
Hmm.
So walk us through your reasoning behind being an Asia session trader.
Yeah. So part of it is strategy.
Okay.
So um, uh, part of my strategy, I look at volume profile, and so it, you know, aligns with that. But also, majority of it is psychology of why I trade in Asia, because I feel like I really focus heavily on mentally preparing to get into the market, like psychology and like feeling the successful person that I am, getting
Sure.
that feeling, getting that mode. And so I find it hard to do that, wake up in the morning
Mm,
and get in that mode real quickly
sure.
before I get into New York session.
Okay.
And so I have all day to kind of like prepare and get ready and stuff like that. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
What do you do if you don't like what do you do to get yourself in that mindset and in that state of mind
Yeah.
to then trade your session?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things. So we were actually just talking about this earlier, just a minute ago, but uh, one hack that I would encourage, you know, people to at least try, you know,
Sure.
is cold plunge. Like
Very
anytime
cool.
you're doing something very uncomfortable, very hard early in the morning, the overcoming of something uncomfortable just makes it so easy to accomplish anything the rest of the day.
Mm,
So I try to do that first thing in the morning, and that's very rewarding. Um, you know what you listen to, so I really try to read a lot. I've
okay.
been spending a lot of time reading. Um, self-help, you know, on different topics that I'm interested in, things like that, just to keep my mind sharp. Go on walks, different meditations, things like that to kind of feel like I am getting in the right state and the right, mindset. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so important. And I definitely can resonate when you say that waking up before New York session just doesn't give you the amount of time that you desire to do those necessary things
Yep.
to put yourself in that mindset, because I do wake
Yeah.
up I feel like I wake up early, and I'm trying to I meditate consistently.
Yeah.
I have a book of meditations that I like to read, and I like
Nice.
to
Yeah.
visualize, and then I have to do my pre-market analysis. Like it is kind of
Yeah.
crunched into
Yeah.
like
I
an
mean, you can
hour,
wake up, like 3, 4 in the morning
which is
and do all that stuff, but
crazy.
like,
Then
you
I
know,
should be just trading London session at that point
yeah,
if you're
right.
living on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
What kind of books are you like? Would you recommend someone? Are you reading trading books? Are you reading like mindset books, or what kind of books are you
Yeah.
interested in?
Mindset books, self-help books,
Okay.
majority of the time. I mean,
Top three.
man, that's hard. Um, hmm. It depends on kind of what avenue you want to get into.
Okay.
One uh, talk that I would recommend would be Your Wish is Your Command.
Okay.
Very, very powerful. It's like 12, 14 hours long, but very, very powerful. It goes through kind of the basics and just the overall of like what I see, psychology, and goes into, you know, the basics of what I focus on. So,
Okay.
Your Wish is Your Command is really good. Um, the Science of Getting Rich is pretty interesting. It's an older book. Probably not well known, but it's very good. It dives into obviously the science of getting rich, but also
Sure.
like there is like the creative space of way of making money and the competitive space of getting money. And so like, America is all about the competitive, having a job, sales, trying to make money that way. Trading is the creative space, if you will. And so it's a very interesting read. So I
Okay.
would recommend that book. It's pretty cool. So,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. How does risk management play a role in your trading, and how has it kind of evolved
Mhm.
from when maybe you weren't a consistently profitable trader into now obviously being a multiple six-figure trader?
Yeah. Yeah, risk management is definitely like one of the key things with trading. Um, I think you definitely have to be disciplined. That's one of the key things you have to be disciplined with. So yeah, I feel like generic rule is, everyone goes for like risking 1% per trade and stuff like that. But when it comes to prop firms, I, risk 1-2% per trade. And ideally, what I do is risk 1 or 2% in Asia. And if I'm profitable come New York session, I'm up maybe 2, 3, 4%, then I can risk 3, 4% in New York on a trade.
Okay.
And then I can just, compound that, and, I have that more leeway of loss that I have, so.
And what are you trading during Asia session?
So I strictly trade AU, Australian dollar, US dollar.
Okay.
So
Okay. And then when you're
underrated pair.
is it?
Yeah,
I mean I don't trade Forex.
Not really. People no one really touches it. So.
Okay. And has that always been your tried and true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. When you're logging on to the charts and you're marking things up, what are you looking for? Like what are the confluences you're looking for that gives you that A+ setup that you're taking?
Yeah, so I look for price to come down to like a buy sell pressure area, which is similar to like a fair value gap.
Sure.
A little bit, and then I just look for momentum change, and so that's theoretically the strategy. But I also look at like the volume profile and the order volume at different levels and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. How has your trading evolved? Has it evolved since prop firms used to have the 30-day, you had to pass phase 1 and phase 2 in a matter of, I think phase 1 or tier 1 was always 30, tier 2 I think was 60. Now prop firms across the board have shifted into unlimited,
Limited, yeah.
giving you the option. Well, not even the option. Like, I think that's just almost industry standard at this point, which is crazy because I feel like it literally happened overnight. And now majority, if not all, prop firms offer the unlimited option.
Yeah.
Has your trading changed, or your risk management, has that shifted since the unlimited days are now in existence?
Yeah. I would say it hasn't really changed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say like I focus more on like trying to pass real quickly, and so I'm more probably higher risk,
Okay.
when I'm trying to trade with prop firms. So I try to pass as quickly as possible. So yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned before that prop firms were kind of that golden ticket for you to kind of pull yourself out of the situation that you're in, being, 6 figures in debt.
Yeah.
Before that, were you
Definitely
only trading your own live capital?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
and then a few other friends, people that I knew.
Okay.
So yeah, it's yeah, once I got introduced to prop firms, it was amazing. It took a while to get good at passing prop firms and kind of tweaking my strategy to be able to, pass them.
How long was that process for you? Like, from the time you discovered that prop firms existed to like how many account challenges did you go through before you actually passed your first one?
Yeah. I spent a lot of money on challenges in the beginning, just failing. But it was good 6-8 months probably before I was able to, successfully make a payout from a prop firm, a significant payout.
Okay. And when was your first, when did you first purchase your very first prop firm challenge? And kind of like where in your journey was that in?
Yeah, it was like probably around 2 years ago. So like a year and a half ago, I had a 9 to 5.
What were you doing?
Was working like in a real estate development company, and yeah, so I was trading, and actually when I had the 105,000 payout with top tier, I was still working at that time. So when I had that payout, then I was like, all right,
I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I stayed with the job, for a good amount of time just to, made sure that I was, good and safe and was able to be, profitable.
In a good financial position, ultimately.
Yeah.
Because
honestly, I think it's in a way, if you're not prepared to just trade full time, like it's easier to maintain a job and trade. It's easier to trade in those conditions.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I found whenever I started to first trade or learn how to trade, it was in sync with the very first FX Summit in 2022.
Yeah.
And in the year of 2022, I didn't work at all. Fortunately, I was in a financial position because I had made a good amount of money previously in affiliate marketing, to where I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to work for a year, and I'm just going to focus on trading.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because in 2023, I started working with prop firms, and my trading, not only because more time passed and I just got more confident and I actually acquired the skill set, but I found myself being able, like, I was a better trader because it wasn't my main focus anymore.
Yep.
I think I was putting too much pressure on myself. And also, I mean, for me personally, knowing that like there was no other income coming in, I just put way too much pressure on myself. And as soon as I kind of alleviated that and I started working alongside prop firms, my trading has just elevated.
Yep.
And I find that many traders that I've spoken with will say the same thing. They're like, I think some people, one or two things, back against the wall, you either thrive like with that pressure or you crumble with the pressure.
Yeah.
And it just takes a level of self-awareness to know kind of which one you are.
Yeah.
So then you can better prepare yourself for that situation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I'd say the same thing. I mean, uh, I think I honestly, I was talking about this last night. I was trading last night when we were out at
Were you?
golf, mini golfing and stuff like
That's why
that.
you got sixth place.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah, no, yeah. I see, like, if I'm stuck to a screen, I'm too focused on trading, and it's too, too controlling, like you were saying.
Interesting.
You're too focused on it,
Yeah.
and so that's another reason why I like to trade Asia, because I'm usually out doing something, and my focus isn't strictly on trading.
Okay.
So you just place a trade with a stop loss, take profit, and then you're out doing stuff and interacting with people and got your mind off of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just, I enjoy that, and it's definitely benefits me a lot doing that.
Are you analyzing and coming up with your bias on a computer and then executing on your computer and managing on the go, or are you doing all of that on the go?
Doing all on the go, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I made 11% last night.
Okay.
While we were out. So
yeah, I mean, that's awesome. For me, I'm not at that point yet. I'm not at that stage yet where I'm like, for me, I've got to be at my computer. Like, even being here in Miami, because I'm based in Phoenix, even not having like my full trade setup, I've only traded 2 days this week.
Really?
Yeah, just because the other 3 days I wasn't like in flow, like I wasn't in my own environment, and that kind of still at this point, I mean, very early on in my trading career, you have like 5-6 years on me. I'm still in the position where I'm like, okay, I need to be in my own space. I need to have my own trading setup. We actually talking to Andres about this the other day, because he was on vacation in the month of earlier this month. And he was like, yeah, I brought my computer, but the people say that like the freedom that trading gives you is one of the most appealing things about it. But also having the self-discipline to kind of limit your freedom in certain cases to make sure that you're still able to execute and to carry out what it is you need to carry out, which I find is interesting. I at this point in time, I could not be a digital nomad and be a successful trader. Not yet, at least.
I think the key is, having a strategy that is just very minimalistic and simple to follow.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of like focus on when I'm developing a strategy or something like that, is make it super easy and super quick to come up with a decision of what you're going to do, so that you can execute it, just like that, without having to like, think about it. What am I going to do? Because then the more you think about it, the more your psychology gets into it and messes you up.
Sure.
Usually your first decision on anything is correct. So, and then the discipline of just following through with that, the most successful people, the billionaires, they delay gratification. If you look at all tests, all research, the billionaires are good at delaying gratification, and that's all discipline is delaying gratification, choosing your future self over your present emotions. And so, that's what I focus on, and so it's difficult to like, get into and to do, but being disciplined with that and taking the time to, billionaires read books, they so, if you're filling your mind with great things instead of, the desire or the emotions and desires, of your present state, then, so.
For people who are tuning in right now, I want to revert back to what you just said, because it's the key almost to profitability, and that's choosing your future self versus getting stuck in your present tense emotions.
Exactly.
That's huge. That's really big, and I find that majority of people who are failing challenges or aren't seeing consistent profitability. Of course, there's different factors in that, but a big factor in that is getting stuck in the present emotions versus thinking, again, to your point about your future self.
Yeah, it's all psychology. I mean, I feel like a lot of people preach that like, trading is 80-90% psychology, but yet they focus on the chart 80-90% of the time. It's like, do what you say, like focus on the psychology, read the right information, develop yourself. And so that's been my focus for the past, year or two is doing that. So
Good for you. Good for you. I
Yep.
say that, and not only do I say it, but I think it's also just a fact that trading is a solo sport,
Yeah.
and having the ability to have access to a community of people who are also looking to elevate their skill set, elevate their mindset, elevate their
Yeah.
lives in general can really, really be beneficial. How has being part of the top tier community kind of elevated your trading?
Oh, it's great. I mean, especially this weekend, it's been amazing to come in and see the back end and see the office and meet everyone and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's really a great company that Top Tier is. I mean, the people working here is amazing. The culture, environment, and everything. So very, very welcoming, very, very, very nice. So
Do you have a community back at home of people who you trade with?
yeah,
Okay.
I have a decent sized community. So it's neat working with them. But I was talking about this with a few people this weekend. But you know, whenever you're working with a group, I try not to give people biases of my actual trading, but being there with them and stuff is very, very beneficial. But you know, giving them what you're trading and what you're thinking and stuff like that could be detrimental to them and stuff like that. So I'm very cautious of that, of like when I'm actually trading and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. There's a fine line
yeah.
in terms of relying on them for validation when it comes to your bias,
Yep.
or being able to utilize the community to elevate you
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
Again, there's people who are going to be tuning into this interview at all different stages. Either they're just getting started in their trading journey.
Yeah.
Maybe this is their first exposure. I think I oftentimes forget that this could be someone's first exposure to the world
Yeah.
of trading, which I think is also really cool. But for someone who is just getting started, or maybe they've kind of been in the game for a little bit and they can't seem to get funded, or they're purchasing challenges time and time and time again, what piece of advice would you give to beginner traders who are just getting started in the space?
Yeah. Find a mentor and develop yourself. Yeah, you can definitely learn a lot and, you know, miss the roadblocks that someone that has already gone through it if you know, follow after someone and learn from them. And develop yourself, develop the psychology. And I feel like there's two areas of trading, two roles of a trader, is like one to develop the strategy and one to just execute. Is how I look at it. And so so really, figure out what your strong suit is and and do those two tasks. So
Easy.
yeah. Yeah.
Easy enough. We
Yeah.
talked about this a little bit in the interview yesterday when you were driving, getting lost, cruising the streets in Miami. When it comes to your future aspirations in trading and just career-wise, like what are you looking forward to?
Yeah. I'm definitely entrepreneur at heart, so I definitely have some ideas and plans as far as businesses, stuff like that. But I definitely want to kind of share more what I've learned over the past couple of years, and the lows and the highs of where I've been. I've definitely learned a lot through that whole experience. And in the past couple of years of just researching psychology and stuff, I want to just share that information because I feel like it's very, very valuable and people can learn a lot from that. So teach those things in some capacity or so. Yeah.
Sure. Did you see yourself in this position whenever you first got started?
No, I did
Okay.
not. No, I did not. But I think the more I meet people and stuff like that, it's like, I feel called to kind of do that,
Yeah.
And so yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah,
So,
Josh, this has been awesome. And again, just being able to, my first exposure to you again was during the FX Summit on the panel, and I am so honored that we have you in this chair now, and I can actually get to know you a bit more and understand your journey a bit more. And again, I just really thank you for being here and for being, again, the first trader that we've had in our top tier experience.
Definitely.
And where can people find you online?
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay.
Mainly on Instagram. _Josh Lee.
Okay.
LEE.
Great.
So yeah.
Sounds good. Josh, thank you so much. This has been fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another top tier interview. Again, I just think it's so incredible that, I mean, selfishly, I get to have these conversations with highly successful traders who are in a position that, like the position that you're in right now, getting multiple six-figure payouts through multiple prop firms is a vision that I have for myself.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's really awesome that I get to have these conversations and that you get to tune into these conversations and draw nuggets of value that are being shared from people who were in your shoes once before, but now are living a life that, again, was once their vision as well. So I hope you gained some value from this interview. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or you just want to share what your biggest takeaway was from this interview, please let us know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to subscribe. I'm looking right at you. Make sure to subscribe to our top tier YouTube channel, because every single Friday we are dropping a new interview with a top tier funded trader or a top tier affiliate, and you will not want to miss it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Josh, thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys next time.